duty. We're his sacrifice. Now they see you as you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another Game of Thrones. This is episode 4, House of the Dragon. This is our recap and review. This is fully spoiler filled. So we're going to go quick and tight. We're going to go through all the different things as best we can. It is another collaboration. Me and Nat are back because Jorge is currently in Toronto. He'll be back next week. But we have the other two co-leads here in Keaton and Ant. What's going on, gentlemen?
How y'all doing?
Hey.
We are here to talk about these dragons, these Targaryens that are doing promiscuous things. But no, in all seriousness,
I'm here to talk about House Blackwood and how I got on his name finally.
Hey, no, he did
Put some respect to his Blackwood name.
He definitely did put some
that
respect in his
dude.
name.
I had to be proud of him. I'm like, go ahead, little man. Go ahead.
But coming off of the last episode,
Just when I saw it.
and what Damon did, and we suspected it, people were gonna like look at him differently, and they labeled him a king in his own right. But he did something different that we didn't expect. He came there. I don't know how much time has passed because daggone Allison has already had the other kid, so I don't know the exact time gap. But by this time, she's already had the kid, and Damon is back. He's cut his hair off for whatever reason, and he basically kneels to the king and let him know, like, look, brother, this is in your name. I know who the real king is. And everything seems like it's all cool and gravy. But Otto is looking at Damon suspect. He is not liking what's going on because he fears that if Damon and the king rekindle their relationship, then things will not go his way. So you guys, coming off the last episode going into this one, what was y'all's feelings on it?
So first thing else, I don't think it's been that long because she looked like she was about 9 months, like full term in the last episode, and then in this, that baby still looked pretty small. So I think it's been maybe a couple months. It was a fat baby, but it was still a
that
baby.
bigger than her.
I was like,
Yeah, it was a fat. It was hey, babies.
That's gonna be like a 1-year-old.
That baby was
Baby
wider than her
fat.
torso.
So yeah, but I'm just saying it's not as big of a time jump as the other ones. That's what I mean. Like I don't think it's been that long because he was still just coming. They were still just wrapping up the war. I mean, they just said homeboy had just gone home instead of coming back to King's Landing. So yeah, I don't think it's been that long. Whoever did it just might not know the size of babies. I don't know.
She had to heal. She had to, go through all that stuff.
I just don't really know. I was asking because I don't know if they actually said how long it's been. Because I really just don't know. I was trying to gauge how much time has passed. But in terms of Damon's way he kind of went about it, did you guys suspect him doing it that way, or?
I thought that was nice. So I came into the throne room, threw that hammer down, walked up to the king's guard sword. Added to the throne. He's like, "Oh, you a king now?" He's like, "There's only one true king, my lord."
Oh yeah, he's a wild card. He's a wild card for sure. Like you never know what he gonna come with.
Or I can have anything I want. Anything.
Yeah, you never know what he gonna come with. He stay wildin'. Like he he the person you like. Damn, he came to Thanksgiving dinner. Like, oh my god. Like, oh my god.
I mean,
I ain't even hungry no more. Like
the reason why I asked that question is because after everything that's happened, right? And we haven't gotten to like him taking Rhaenyra out and showing her like the city life and showing her a brothel house and all this and that. I was kind of like, to what end, right? And so then to all lead up right where the king had him, he didn't deny anything. And he was like, all right, bet, you're going to disown her? Cool. I get what I want, kind of thing. So I'm wondering, was that his prime directive from the beginning, from jump? Like, because he's been eyeing her from the beginning. It was just more so I was kind of like, why is he taking her out specifically? Why is he doing it this way? Because anything could have happened to her. She could have got attacked or something like that. But I think, to be fair, the moment that he removed like their head their hair pieces and stuff like that, nobody was going to touch her because they like, oh, okay, no, that's the queen. So nothing was going to really happen to her, I assume. But I'm led to believe that this was his prime directive from the beginning. That it was like, all right, bet this is all going to lead to him assuming the worst. And cool, I get my favor. Like, if you don't want her, I'll take her, kind of thing. I was curious y'all's perspective on that.
I think, yeah, it seemed like he was going to just straight up go all the way with it. And then he just stopped and dipped. But then she ended up, like, still going through with it with somebody else anyway. She's like, I mean, I still...
Hey, go light my fire and leave me burning.
I still need something. King's Landing ain't got an Adam and Eve, so I'm gonna find somebody.
Right. Yo.
Oh man.
Yo, it's like, you know what? I can't go through this. I'm bad for you. You shouldn't do. Let's take this slow. Take it slow. You come back later. What happened? I thought we was no. And can you imagine that she put that man at risk that night? She put him at risk because the brother can get away with that. He get caught. He loses body parts.
Kill that man straight up. Like, I was like, he could die over that. If anybody finds out, he might legit die. For real.
Yeah, but at the same time, he probably also thinking, what happens if I turn her down?
Look, I was thinking the whole time that's like the slave thing. Like, if you deny the mistress, but if the master catch you,
right. It could be a Dover situation. You're right.
That was rape. I mean, great. That was great. You made it edit that, Sam. You might need to bleep that first part out. That was great. Technically, that was workplace great.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things. He's like, will you please just give me my helmet back? I'm hungry. I'm tired. Like, I don't need this. I got loans. But I think if Damon didn't leave, he really wanted her. I think if he didn't leave, he would have went through with it. I think he knew his temptation was too strong. Yeah. And I think that's how he dipped. His only choice was to dip. Like, that guard should have dipped.
I mean, to keep the point though, all she had to do is be like, I'll scream or I'll show somebody. Now, that's not her character, right?
But you don't know you're a guard.
Exactly. He wouldn't know. He would not know.
Right.
Like,
I was jousting 2 episodes ago. Like,
yeah. You know what? It was like that guy
here.
It was like that minstrel in the Kingswood. He was like, "Stay, go." Damn, how you go? Like, that minstrel felt screwed no matter what he does. Or whatever he is, bard. That bard was screwed no matter what. So,
you know what? Though, to be fair though, I wonder what he thinks happened, because if you think about it from his perspective, he was told. I don't know if he was told or not, but imagine if he finds out like somebody gave the accusation that she slept with Damon, and then that same night she slept with him. Like, how he supposed to feel about it? Like,
I think he'd be all right with it.
That's a mess.
I don't know. I think Damon be open to it. He don't care. I mean, he might care, but he ain't going. Oh, but that guy beat him in a battle. That guy beat him with a battle.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's some weird stuff.
I also love that it was just like, oh yeah, at night, King's Landing, there's always just a giant orgy going on in King's Landing, and it's just this kid hanging out there just being nosy. I'm like, man, y'all need some bouncers or something. Like,
look, no one wonders why though. There's one person not screwing in this place.
Right.
Taking notes.
Right. That fly on the wall, I'm like, man, y'all gonna all be on CNN tomorrow. Like,
right.
So as far as I guess that's a segue, because I don't really want to talk about it, but watching like the sexual activity with the actress that playing Rhaenyra, like, I don't know, it's really jarring to me because she still literally looks really young. She could be like 18, she could be 21 years old, but she don't look like that. And it was just really weird watching. It was kind of really jarring for me. I kind of was like, I don't know if I really want to watch any of this. But did you guys feel like that at all, or was it kind of like it's Game of Thrones? It happens.
So I did feel weird. I'll tell you, when it first started happening, it gave me the same vibe that I got like in season 8 when Arya hooked up with Gendry. I was like, man, this
I forgot about that.
Because I like watched this chick grow up, but at the same time, it was like, well, it's been a long time. She old enough. They both old enough. So I mean, I guess it's straight. I got the weirdest thing to me from this because, like you said, there was a time skip, so I'm not sure how old they are, and this is Westeros. The weirdest thing to me was that
She's
it was
18.
it was her uncle. That's the weirdest thing to me. That ain't ever gonna sit right, and I ain't ever gonna get used to it. I'm still mad at Jamie and Cersei. I never got past it. Yeah, that's what's I'm like, that's your uncle, like that.
I mean, but did you the first episode, Keaton, did you feel like they were already kind of flirtatiously looking at each other anyway? Did you kind of feel like there was like something going on? Because that's how I felt. Like the moment he put that necklace over her neck, kind of like that, and they sitting there talking in other languages, I was like, that's like really sensual. And I was like, this girl's 14 years old. What's going on? So I don't know. Did you feel like that the first episode, or
it was a little bit? It was a little like I did not pick up on those, like on Damon and her. I did feel like her best friend was eyeballing her.
We'll get to that.
I did feel like the best friend was eyeballing her.
She was mad butthurt. She was mad butthurt about that rumor.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a second.
But yeah, I didn't pick up those vibes. I think, like I said, Damon is just a wild card, a joker, maybe some go fish. Like he is just, you don't know what he's gonna do. He's like Mike from Why Did I Get Married? Like he just walks in and it's just straight chaos. Like you don't, and so I don't know what to expect from him. He's just problematic as hell. But I love watching him. I love watching because like I don't you don't know what side of the bed he gonna wake up on.
Oh man. Nat or Anthony, any thoughts before we go to Allison?
Weirdly, I did not pick up on Allison eyeing Rhaenyra. I caught the potential between Damon and Rhaenyra. We talked about about the first episode. It was tripping me out. It tripped me out even more just watching. I could barely watch it. I'm just like, you look 14. You look 14. It's just creeping me out right now. And even though she wound up doing the do with, the night, it was still kind of creepy because, again, you look 14, sis. Just no. If they had the older actress, then maybe it would have been bearable, but not. It was still creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job of trying to block a lot of the nudity for the actress, which I'm glad they did that for her versus how they did Emilia Clarke. So I give them credit for that. It was still, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm an old man. This 18, 20-year-old woman she look like a kid no matter what. So I don't find anything sexual about this whatever. Like I'm old. I'm old now. So.
I'm an old head.
Knowing that she's that age and still
25, you a baby. Get out of here. Get out my face. I ain't talking to you. You ain't got nothing for me.
Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio gonna be mad at you for saying that.
Right, you gonna be mad at me. That's just not my, they all look like babies.
It's still creepy though, seeing it though. Like you're not, even though you're how you are, it's still creepy to watch. Like it's not engaging at all. Like no.
Well, I didn't find it sexual, but I found it just was interesting in the moment of her letting free and her actually being the aggressor. I like that she had sexual agency in the scene. I mean, she was kind of rapey, but she had sexual agency in the scene, which is something that they're trying to project for their character, that she's not trying to be passive, especially when you I want to use juxtaposition. I'm trying to say a word. I can't remember what the word is. But anyway, when you put it against what was going on with her former best friend, the Queen, who was dissociating. Yes, who was dissociating during her whole thing with the King, which that is the image I've been disturbed about since they got married. Was this old man just like on top of? That's the image that I didn't want to see. So I think her gazing out and then coming back like, oh yeah, it's nice. And we were one. I think you said that you were talking about where her fingernail pulling came or went. Somebody had said that, so it was really interesting to see. Yeah. So that was more disturbing to me than the princess. The queen was more disturbing
Yeah.
to me.
So
I feel like she was also jealous of that too. Like you could tell it wasn't just the fact that maybe she desired her, it's the fact that Rhaenyra got a choice. Period.
yeah,
Probably
so
good second. Damn, so go on.
Who fought
Yeah,
for
no,
the
that's
choice? Who stood up and fought for her choice every step of the way? She's been disagreeable about it, while she has been passive and just accepting what's ever gone on for society standards. And now, yeah. I'm sorry.
no, that's fine. I was gonna be the segue anyway. Is the reality is with their relationship, it's never just been, to me, from my perception, just a friendship. Like it seems like they are really close. What I assumed was that Rhaenyra had the same exact feelings, but now I'm seeing that she doesn't. But it looks as though Alicent was being used by her dad, like we've always thought, and she really didn't want to necessarily do it, but she willingly did the dutiful wife duties. And she was like, okay, well, at least I'll be in some form of power while doing it, even though this is not what I want. And I agree with Ant, like that image of kind of her even saying like she wasn't interested, and I was like, man, he gonna command her back to do this. And then her just sitting there, I was like, that is really how she actually feels. That's the real life version of what she's really feeling in all moments of the time. I think that some of the stuff is she lets go because she's the queen, but I think it's a combination to me of her being jealous that Rhaenyra has options and choices and is doing all the rebellious things, and she's kind of trapped. But it really does feel like to me that she legit is upset that she possibly had any form of affection to somebody else.
She
It wasn't just Damon. It was more so that like you're gonna let yourself get soiled. It was verbiage. The verbiage that she used wasn't just about Damon. It was about her being defiled or her being used or her, like, and anytime somebody does that, like I'm like, okay, you're her best friend, but that sounds a little bit more like jealousy to me.
She was more butthurt than her father. She was more butthurt than the king was about about like there was hurt in her eyes. Like it wasn't true, right? You're saying it wasn't true.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so I think what's gonna happen though, I think is we about to see some real bitterness here, because obviously like Radar's made it clear like I'm gonna be with somebody. Might even be my uncle. And I think what's going to happen now is Alicent's, in for a penny, in for a pound. She already popped out a couple babies. And so I think at this point in the future, she's just going to be mad and doing everything she can to make sure her kids end up on the throne instead of Rhaenyra. Like, I think it's going to turn into a bitter ex situation. Like, it's about to get ugly.
So Sam, remember when I told you it was gonna be like some 4-way
I didn't catch it at the time. I did not catch it at the time at all. I was kind of like, so now you got, because at this point now she's gonna marry most likely the sea serpent's son, which is the little black kid. She's got
black kid now. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna be Targaryen. I think she's gonna end up with Damon.
So the drama you're gonna get. All right, I'm banging your father, but I want to bang you, but you're banging like this is what, and for all we know, the uncle going bang. He might bang the sea serpent's son. Like we don't know Damon's sexuality.
Yeah. What is it that the Targaryens are known for?
Intermarriage. No. So this is what I'm saying. I think what's gonna happen. She's gonna marry the sea serpent person. He's gonna try with her. She's not gonna have a kid, but I think that she's gonna come back. And I don't know if it's gonna be some two-timing stuff with Damon or not, but she's gonna end up with Damon too. That's why I said, like, I do think that, Nat's perspective is going to happen. I just don't know how Alicent works in this, because if Alicent becomes bitter and it comes out that Alicent legitimately loves Rhaenyra, it's going to be an actual problem. So
Alicent no longer has a puppet master. her father is no longer hand of the king. He might not even stick around. So now if she realizes her own power in this situation, because this is the first time we actually saw her be a force. Like she, she had a forceful tone with the princess. Like if she ever comes into her own power and is like, you know what, I am the queen. like I am the queen, and that's going to be scary. If she's a scorned lover or a scorned never got a chance to be lover, that's going to be some stuff.
It could be that way too, but I think we saw hints of it in the last episode when she actually managed to convince the king to send help when they were trying to get help the last 3 years. That one conversation from her, I was like, oh, okay, let's send some ships. Let's help Daemon out, even though that wound up not working out, which is actually to the betterment of Daemon anyway. It put him in a better position, which
it did.
Well deserved. And Corlys is being petty, and that's fine too and understandable. So it's just interesting to me with Alicent, just the layers that she has, because she's been forced into this situation with Rhaenyra's dad. She was happy that they were actually friends again, and then you find out that she out here having sex, and she got the choice because she actually wanted these two people. Granted, she doesn't know about the night, but she knows about
you
Daemon.
out here enjoying sex while I gotta be underneath your scabby ass dad. How dare you?
And mind you, Anthony, she found out right after she did that with her dad. Like, it's like, no, I got to deal with your old crusty dad who is like
pale,
still on the throne because you see the marks. You see the marks on his arms. I'm just like. Yeah,
Renard looking back at Alicent like DJ Khaled. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Look, so y'all made me forget what I was about to say.
That man can remember like the king wants you, but it's late. It is, man. So go to my happy place. Go to my happy place.
I'm really
I'm
curious.
just gonna eat some cereal.
You guys that are watching this, because I'm really curious from an audience standpoint if you guys feel a way after seeing Daemon like have his dope moment to Daemon in this episode. How you guys feeling about the character? I really am curious. Like I really want you guys to go into the comments. Let us know like how y'all feel about the actions that are going on in this, because it's some twisted mess going on. And I was going to ask you guys this. Do y'all think the king, after having a conversation with Rhaenyra, after having a conversation with Alicent, after having a conversation with Daemon, knowing full well what Otto was about, that he went and gave her an elixir for her to take to get rid of any possible children? I don't think it was
like a Westeros plan B, right? Like,
I don't think it was him.
What's going on?
No, I think it was him. I think he was being a good dad. I think look. This is the thing. This is the thing. I know y'all don't mess with the king, but the king got found. The king he solidified a place in my heart this episode.
No, I agree. I agree.
He actually showed some background. In fact, and whenever Rhaenyra, like the subject of Rhaenyra came up, he actually grew a backbone, and it was like you saw hints of if he was just better at being a king, that would be what we would see. And I'm like, why can't you be that all the time? And then he was finally stood up to Otto. But I'm like, where was this years ago?
Look, people, I'm going to tell y'all right now, the lesson you should get from this scene is always be careful of people that come with you some messed up stuff you didn't need to know. Right? When everybody tries to come and tell you some stuff about somebody talking about you that you had never known about, like, just question, what do you get out of telling me? Right. like what joy do you get out of telling me this stuff I would never heard of? I was just getting up. Man was still getting dressed, and so when he got off, I don't got off lucky because with me, I would have took an eye at least. I remember this the next time you tell me some crap about my daughter.
Okay, but remember the guy that's been also advising the king, and he actually has.
He should be new hand. He should be new hand.
But he's probably going to be the new hand. But if it was him that came to the king versus Otto, would you have really taken it in stride, or would you have thinking that he had motivations?
Because that guy has never done anything to advance himself. He has always been about everybody else.
Exactly.
And he's the kind of guy that you could tell a friend that has to tell you some stuff versus a friend that can't wait to tell you some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
There's a big difference.
Because
I struggled with I should tell you or not, King, but you just found out an hour ago, bro. You ain't struggled with that.
You forwarded that text message.
You combed your hair, straightened your beard. The first time his Nostradamus beard looked presentable, he couldn't. We was licking his lips to say something.
I didn't know whether to tell you, so I put it on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I activated my MySpace.
And he tried to do that Iago. I'm sorry, Nat.
No, I was just gonna say, in Otto's defense, given how quickly he told him, what if he had waited, and what if he had heard from someone else? Would he have said, "Well, why didn't you tell me"? I don't know. I feel like that would have been.
That's a good.
So this is what I was gonna say. All he had to do is say to the king, "Look, I have something that I've heard, and it right now is a rumor, and I've taken care of it. The person that told me, I made sure of who the person were. They got paid off. Everything's good, but we need to talk about this and deal with this now." That approach was not how Otto came across. All he had to say, like, "Look, I got you. I got the person that said this. At this point now, this is still a rumor, and we're going to conceal it and keep it where it is. But I need to let you know this because I want to make sure you're covered." That's all he had to do. That's not about Otto. And so
he didn't come at him like that. He tried to do that, that Othello Iago stuff. Get the hint of a thought in there, a hint, a little, and the king. I love the king was like, "No, don't come in here with a half thing and you tell me you come in the morning about my daughter. Tell me the whole thing. Matter of fact, bring the guy that told you.
Right?
I will get the truth. Yeah. I will get the truth."
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I feel like the other guy would have approached it like what you're saying. Like he would have approached it like, I took care of it, but this is what's happening, and this is what you may hear. But look, Otto would have felt that. I probably would have hit Otto. If I was king, you'd be like, "King Anthony, he wouldn't hit nobody. I'd have beat Otto's ass." No one needed to beat Otto's ass because you're not gonna mess with my daughter's reputation, and that's the other thing. You're not gonna try to poison my perception of my daughter, right? Yeah. And if my daughter needs an elixir, we ain't gonna talk about it. Like it's the same thing. You look. If you ever in trouble, you can always come to me. So handle it when it's small before it gets big. But if you don't talk, fine. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna love you regardless. But just in case, here's this little elixir here. What? Take it a dope. Take it a dope.
Go ahead, Keaton.
I do have a question though, because taking a step back to what we were talking about before, because at first I thought, Daemon just stopped himself. But the more I think about it, I wonder if he was just out here just like 3 steps ahead sowing seeds. I'm gonna get close to or pull myself off, because what made me think about it was the play that he took her to. He kept on
pulling back. Okay.
The play that he took her to, that was like, "Look, don't nobody out here even want you to be queen." Like, I feel like that part was significant. Like he took her there, then it's like, "Look, how they don't care about you. I care about you."
I think
right. Like it was like he's sowing seeds.
I think he wanted to use her for the plan. I think he planned to get caught with her, but I think he wanted to use her for the plan. But I think that he also didn't want to use her sexually. So the lie does the same work as the truth does in the situation, right? Mm-hmm. And I think he does want her, and I think he does care about her, and I think that's why he pulled himself back. I think it was a struggle for him to pull himself back. It
was weird though, because I felt like there was a taunting that he was doing. He kept on kind of pulling, because he got her to that place. He pushed her to that place, wanting him. Then he started pulling back.
Maybe he didn't know she would go fully for it. Because maybe just being in the pleasure house and them being close would have been enough. But then they started getting it. He was like, "Oh, she into this. Like, I'm into this. Oh man, I'm into this. Oh man, I could."
It's weird, bro.
No, he knew
You
he
know
was
what?
going to do it, but he held back.
I got
feel
to
like he was
go.
gonna.
You be all right. It's just you be all right. Nobody gonna mess with that hair. I got it. I got to see. I feel it. like so. I don't know. I mean,
It's some weird television. That's all I'm saying. I can't believe we're talking about this for 50 damn minutes.
I
You
mean,
can't
but
believe
you know
we're
what?
talking about this in a Game of Thrones show. Don't play yourself.
I thought Lord Blackwood was going to be the highlight of the show for me.
So this is the thing,
No,
though.
because
Keith,
ever
to be
since
fair,
the Blackwoods got wiped out at the Red Wedding, I was like, what's the point? We ain't gonna see that last name no more. Like,
It was like we was fighters.
I was like, yeah,
So,
you
like,
were.
Fighters from the beginning.
So
the
Walter
weird
Frank
thing
got
is,
OC.
though, is Keaton like, yeah, like there was incest throughout with Jaime and Cersei, and then there was incest with Daenerys and Jon Snow, which we only had for like one season. But this is from the inception beginning stages. Like this is a 14-year-old girl and a grown man,
18.
and it's just
She's 18.
Yes.
Y'all keep saying she's 14.
18
She's
is still a
18.
baby.
She's
18 is still a
18.
baby.
No, I was just saying. Y'all keep calling her 14 when they literally said
when
last
we saw
episode
her
she was
in the very
17 and a
first
half.
episode, it's the same
He still looks
actress.
14. There's a
She ain't
difference.
changed. She's
He
not
don't look
changed at
18.
all.
What's the actress' real age? Look up the actress. What's her real age? Y'all keep.
It
You know
doesn't
what?
matter.
Look,
The thing is, I knew what we were getting into with
Rudy
this shit
Huxtable
from the
has grown
get.
up and she has gotten some. Just to deal with it, people. They don't
Like,
stay
yeah.
kids forever. They
I
don't
don't
stay
like the
kids
thing
forever.
is, I knew what I was getting into. Like as soon as they said we're gonna make a Game of Thrones spinoff all about the rise the Targaryens, I'm like, man, I'm surprised there's even any other non-related marriages in here. Like I thought it was like
I mean, it's also medieval
I thought they
times.
were
You
all
marrying
gonna
your
be
uncle.
brother cousins and sister wives and all. Like I thought that's all it was gonna be, which pretty much that's most
That's
of
the
it is.
timeline
But
they're emulating. This is fantasy at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
Right.
emulating medieval times. It's your uncle. It's better than your brother, I guess.
I mean, all the royal family are related. That's why they so mad at Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
For me, it's just different because it looks like physically it looks like a huge age gap.
Oh,
The
there's
way
no
she
huge
was
age
presented
gap.
in the beginning. No,
The
I'm saying
doctor's
that
like
if,
40, right?
yeah, I mean, no, I'm just saying that if it was the
Okay.
actress that's going to replace the actress that's currently right now is Rhaenyra, and they started engaging, like next 2 episodes. Okay, cool. They built up and they implied it, but now it's the same exact actress from when we first see it, who was initially 14 or 12 when the series started. Like, it's just really weird to actually physically see
Matt
it. Like,
Smith
that
is
was just
39 years old. It's weird no matter what. It's okay.
weird.
It's okay.
Well,
That was probably Matt
anyway.
Smith. That's probably the actor Matt Smith. He's like, I don't feel right about this. I played the doctor. I can't be doing this on screen.
Yeah, I was like, Matt Smith, how are you feeling during this scene? Because you played the doctor who actually had one of the characters, I can't remember her name, but she had a crush. Like she played a little girl. He saw her
Amy
grow
Pond.
up, and then Amy Pond, and she had a crush on him and tried to kiss him. He's like, "Excuse you, no."
Damn, no.
Man.
She's
And she was
22
married.
years old.
Yeah, she was married, so it was like, dude.
He had years of dodging kisses practice. He's like, this is Anthony C. Get away from me.
So, just real quick, the elixir, you guys think that was a plan B. You don't think that Otto snuck that in through? Because the reason why I asked that, because the Grand Maester has been doing everything Otto's told him to do. That conversation with Otto and the king was one of the best revelation understandings of their relationship, even down to how he leads as a king. He was
If
like,
the
I learned from
princess-
you.
If the princess dies, Otto is killed. The king kills Otto. Like,
No. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about like keeping her from being able to bear children. Period.
I think, well, the Maester has also been helping the king with his injuries with the throne. So well, we know that, and plus he practically killed the queen doing that surgery. But
practically.
That
Killed
was
it clean.
that might have been premeditated murder. We don't know how involved Otto was with all this. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think that was the king. I think that was the king just going, look.
Yeah, that was.
I ain't saying I don't believe you.
King
What you're
made that
saying?
decision, mind you. The king made that decision, mind you. But
No, he did make that decision. He made that decision. He made that bed and he had to lay in it for the rest of his life. But I'm saying that I don't know how much Otto is connected with the Grand Maester. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. I think that was the king.
They had too many conversations together to really get a glimpse that they may be in cahoots with each other. But maybe I just don't know, especially since the king did bring up his brother or someone close to him, and he's like 5 days later he dead, and you became hand.
He's
That's
like, man,
suspect, bruh.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the king was just like, you say you didn't do it, but my brother's a charming mother. I seen him back in the day. No, here's your thing. No, the Billy's been using it for years. Here, just decades, centuries, whatever. He'd take this. I don't think the Maester. Also, the Maester to kill a line or kill the lineage of the house. I don't think the Maester's going that far. I just don't see it.
And
I know in the. Oh, go ahead.
No. You need to finish. I'll go after you.
I know there's a theory there's a theory about the books, like the main Game of Thrones books. The Maesters have a conspiracy, and they've been manipulating a lot of things. So, that's why there's one of them in every house, pretty much. So, I mean, if that's something they were going for, I just don't see the setup for it.
So with the Maester, I just feel like with everything going on, I don't think there's anything more than him just trying to give her something just in case. I just don't think there's anything more. Now he can F it up because I feel like he's incompetent, but that's probably the gist of it. Is not the motivation. I don't think is sinister in this case. I don't think it's sinister.
I guess I just don't trust people. It's okay.
I wouldn't trust any medieval medicine, but
any final closing thoughts, conversation? I mean, we can talk about the dagger and the conversation that the king had with her. It seemed like a really good conversation. But anything else that caught you guys' eye about this episode for us to go over before we close out?
Look, I know they want to hype up do all the connections to what's happened before. Unless Bran shows up in the background somewhere, I don't need any more connection, right? Because all you remind me of is that the last series ended so horribly, and the Princess of Promise didn't do anything really at the end. So I know there's a Jon Snow series, and maybe you correct that. I don't know how you correct it, but maybe you correct that. But right now, every time they bring it up, it just reminds me I don't need to get too invested in this show because they're going to disappoint me. That's what that reminds me of.
Well, also, it's not going to go anywhere. Because of the in-house fighting that's going to really take place probably sooner rather than later, it's not relevant. All you're doing is just hinting or giving us a glimpse of or remind us of Game of Thrones. This is just a reminder. We don't need all that.
And the White Walkers got defeated in an episode. The White Walkers, the Long Night, got defeated in an episode. So every time you bring that up, it just irks me. It just irks me. There's one story involving the White Walkers in the past that I'd be interested to hear. I'd be interested in seeing. And this ain't it. So yeah, I don't care.
Keaton, what about you?
No, this is interest. The big thing that's interesting to me about this show was I'm trying my best not to completely compare it to Game of Thrones, even though it 100% is a Game of Thrones show. It's a lot more it's a lot more plot and intrigue with some battle and some killing in between, because Game of Thrones, the original Game of Thrones, off the jump, it was somebody losing their guts every episode. I mean, one guy lost his guts this episode, but they really are about it's a whole lot of talking. And I'm interested in seeing if it's one of those things that kind of builds up like a Tarantino movie. So yeah, I enjoyed the episode. It was a little bit weird, a little bit uncomfortable, but I enjoyed it.
Look, that's a nice sword. I want to see that kid, that Blackwood kid, is the new. What was the bear girl? The bear girl from
Lyanna Mormont.
Lyanna Mormont. That kid, that Blackwood kid, is my new Lyanna Mormont. Because he's taking that Lannister's talking all that trash. And that kid was going to take it. So he was like coward or something like that. He called him. He was like, "No, bro, ain't no cowards over here."
And you know what makes so bad? It's like that dude is forever going to be like, it's not going to be lived down. Like, you got killed by a kid.
Right.
Yeah, you put on a dagger because that kid had a sword. You put on a dagger, that kid had a sword.
Yeah, that kid was like, I don't dodge smoke. Like,
right? You can talk to all that trash. You can say, "Oh, that boy," you say, "Coward." Oh,
yeah. Oh, you got words.
Well, one of us got to go.
Just gonna make songs about you. Like,
yeah.
Closing thoughts, Nat?
This was one of those episodes where I'm just like, yes, stuff's about to pop off. We got pettiness. We got some underhanded things going on. Some revelations. The king got a backbone. We'll see what happens next episode.
I'd have took his eye. I know I would.
Yeah. I think I found like a lot of respect for the king in this episode. Like, out of all the episodes so far, like, this is the one I was like, okay, he's really got he actually has his family's back. Because he chose to see past Daemon's foolishness and not just execute him. And then he also stood up for his daughter and basically excommunicated Otto. Or I guess we'll see what happens with that. Because I don't know if his wife knows what he did to Otto just yet. So I don't really know what that looks like. For her to be there without her dad. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good episode. And I'll say this openly so you guys know, because I'm not going to be leading this anymore. I respectfully really do enjoy House of the Dragon. And I enjoy The Rings of Power. I think that both shows are very finitely different. They're very episodic and big.
The reason why I'm bringing this up, Game of Thrones show.
The reason why I'm bringing this, oh my god, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what we're planning on doing, and me and Nat have been going back and forth with it, is having a crossover show that we're going to try to do like on weekends. We kind of break down like small little snippets about like these two big gigantic shows, and get a riff between both shows and not tear them down, but really kind of boost both of them up in different ways. And so we'll see where that goes, but that's the reason why I'm bringing it up, because I'm here for both. I'm not here for any smoke. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. Yeah.
I'm choose violence. I choose violence.
Watch your tone, sir. You compare.
Hey, look, y'all have me lead. Look, I could have let somebody else take the reins. Y'all put me in this
Lord of the Rings calling Game of Thrones, boy. You just got in this game, boy. Saying boy too hard. Saying boy too hard.
But yeah. So yeah, if you guys please leave in the comments if you guys would like for all of us to talk about it. I would really love for Keaton and Anthony to be a part of it. Jorge has already signed his seal of approval that he's down. So let us know in the comments.
Are you making side deals? You doing little finger stuff? You making side deals with Jorge in the background? You playing the Game of Thrones, fam? You playing the Game of Thrones?
Should have seen that way.
Should have seen it coming. Should have seen it coming.
That way.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
Just tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in. It's coming. It's coming.
Falling out the top of the
I can see skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on